Welcome to our 36th annual meeting of the Intertribal Agriculture Council. As you know, my name is Harlan Beaulieu. I am a member of the Red Lake Band of Chippewa. We are part of the Anishinaabe Nation of North America. We're one of the larger bands in North America, of course. If you put us all together, there's quite a bunch of us. I want to begin by saying thank you to the funders and to our staff for putting together this annual event. It's quite a task to put this annual event together. It takes quite a group of people to begin this function, which takes almost the entire year to plan this out and to get things put together. The ladies and gentlemen who work on this annual function take quite a bit of time to get things rolling in the right direction, so they put a lot of effort in to get things going. And so first off, I'm going to introduce my board of directors who come from all areas of the country. Our board is made up of the 12 BIA regions of the United States. And that's how we're put together. We're elected officials from each region of the United States. And I'll introduce in no particular order just what my list is made up of. I myself come from the Great Lakes region, which is kind of like the Minneapolis area. First off, I want to introduce Joe Frank. Joe is from the Eastern region. He's the vice president and comes from the Seminole tribe. Next is Tanya Turnpau. She's the secretary. She's from the Southern Plains and the Citizens Potawatomi Nation. Our treasurer, Theo Garcia, is from Alaska. He's with the Kinnick tribe. Next, I want to introduce Charlene Miller. She's from the Great Plains, Sisseton Wahpeton. Next, I have Craig Ironpipe, Rocky Mountain Blackfeet tribe. I have Jamie Moore, Western Colorado Indian tribe. I have Megan Baldy, Pacific Hoopa Valley tribe. Mel Tafoya, Southwest Santa Clara Pueblo. Ray Castillo, Navajo. Trenton Kinnessee, Eastern Oklahoma, Muskogee Creek Nation. Arlo Crutcher, Northwest, Fort McDermott, Paiute Shoshone tribe. And Zachary Ivory, he's our youth at large, Cherokee Nation. This is our group here, and we have quite a good bunch of intelligent people who work very hard and donate their time to this organization, helping us put together a lot of time and effort, helping us make decisions and bringing forth a lot of good information and concerns about what's happening around Indian country and making us aware of what the concerns are out in Indian country and what we need to work on all the time. I want to give a little bit of information about who is IAC. IAC is a result of, we were formed back in the 1980s out of the 1980s farm crisis and the unfair treatment of the native farmers and ranchers with the various USDA programs and our inability to participate in the various programs and such. And we were seeing a loss of our last remaining farmlands. You know, we got together from the various regions of the country, the 12 regions of the United States, the tribes got together, and we were elected from those 12 regions to represent our regions, and they formed the first IAC Council. And it was a group of young people. They elected, well, not all so young. It was mainly people involved in agriculture and understood the various aspects of farming and agriculture from the various regions of the country. So we brought those issues forward and began to form an organization with bylaws and what we wanted our organization to be able to represent from these areas. We took our issues forward to Congress and to the various branches of government. We wanted them to realize they had trust functions just like any other branches of government. And we had to open doors to those other branches of government who are always telling us that only BIA had a responsibility to us. And that wasn't true. Other branches of government had responsibilities. We made treaties with the US government, which meant all branches of government had treaties with us, not just the BIA. So we moved forward with that understanding that we had an agreement with the US government, not just one branch of government. So from that time forward, we've dealt with all branches and wanted the US government to realize that we are dealing with the United States of America, not just one branch of government. And so to this day forward, we are dealing with the United States of America as Native people. And so today we perform under that function. And so we first started our organization in 1986. We formally established ourselves in 1987. Our first office, like I was telling people last night, was in a little garage. Our first executive director was Greg Smithman. He was on loan to us from BIA. He was a BIA employee the first year, and he was on temporary assignment to us. He was a BIA employee from Fort Belknap Indian Reservation, and so he tried us out to see if he could work with us, and he decided he liked us a little bit, so he stayed with us, and so he worked with us. And last night we were on the 53rd floor, the penthouse floor of the Palms Hotel and Casino here. So we went from a little garage to the penthouse of the 53rd story of the hotel and casino. You know, so we moved up a little bit in time. Over the past 36 years, we started from one employee to last night. We now have 75 employees with a budget of barely able to function with some leftover monies from the BIA to maybe a budget of $10 million per year or more now, and hope to continue to grow. We've grown now from maybe having over the past 36 years, with 75 full-time employees, we now have 6 departments. We have a technical assistance network, natural resource programs, regenerative economies programs, policy and government relations, American Indian food programs, youth and professional program, development program. And you know, our staff is almost 100% Native Americans, you know, and we're kind of growing our own people to do the functions of our organization by sending them to college and educating them and becoming our staff people. So we're pretty proud of that fact that we're able to provide scholarships, and those young people that are going to college and getting an education become our own employees. So that's part of what we are. You know? And, you know, I'd like to present the historical fact that we are America's first farmers. You know, people don't realize the fact that before Christopher Columbus landed here, or whatever other person claimed they were the first person to come to our shores, we fed ourselves. We didn't need anybody to feed us. We were eating pretty good before anybody got here, you know, and so we were doing all right for ourselves, and we were providing ourselves with all the food we needed, you know. When those pilgrims or whatever colonists or whoever they were landed on our shores, you know, when they landed on our shores, they weren't clearing land or doing anything. They were taking over our garden spots and trying to take over our farm ground, you know. That's what was going on there, you know. They were eating our seed stocks and doing whatever they could to survive off of what we had left there, and there was nothing that they had found, that they just found it, you know. It was already there for them. And so over 60% of all food eaten in the world today was first produced by us here in the Americas, you know. So, you know, in the whole world today, you think about it, you know, those foods, like we gave the world the corns, the beans, and the squashes, the chocolates, tomatoes, potatoes, and many varieties of fruits and vegetables. You think about that, you know, that's not mentioned a whole lot in any history books or anything taught in our school systems or anything like that today. But if you dig deep enough, you know, you can find that stuff. But, you know, that's not in our basic school books and anything like that. But, you know, that's something we have to educate our own people about and let it be known that we had that ability long before anybody else come around here, and let it be known, you know. We also gave the world many of the medicines and the medicine plants that are now available. You know, we had all of this stuff long before the arrival of the colonists or anything like that, you know. And so, you know, many of the wars that we were fighting over our farmlands, you know, that they were being taken for us. The wars began right at the beginning of the landing of the colonists. You know, you hear about the Narragansett and the Pequot wars and stuff right at the beginning of the landing of the colonists. You know, we were already fighting right from the beginning over the farmlands. You know, you hear of when Ponce de Leon was Spanish explorer. He was looking for the fountain of youth, and in his journals, he wrote about, he marched for weeks through cultivated lands, so from Florida through Georgia. He was looking for the fountain of youth, and he was marching through cultivated lands, and he was looking, and he was trampling down gardens and stuff with all his troops and stuff, and this same farmland later, Andrew Jackson was driving our peoples off of these same lands because the colonists and the settlers wanted these lands. He was pushing the Cherokee and the Creeks and the Seminoles off of these same lands because they wanted that land, because this was agricultural land that they wanted. They were taking it away from these very people that were farming these lands long before they ever got there. You know, so this whole area was already farmed by our people and stuff. So we were involved in agriculture long before anybody ever got there. You pushed our people out of the Ohio Valley. We farmed all of the Ohio Valley. That corn ground there, that was farmed by the Chippewas and the Shoshones and all of those people in that whole area. We had been farming that whole area, you know, the mound people and such. You got these mounds and all that. That whole area was farmed by us people. All the wars that were fought across America, we were fighting over our farm ground. So you talk about these savages fighting with these people over nothing. We were fighting for our farmlands. There was a reason for all of these wars. We were fighting for our buffalo. We were fighting for all of the lands that we were farming already. There was a reason we were fighting with these people. You know, this was farmland. So this wasn't, the reasons for the fights wasn't never told why we were fighting. And today, you know, they say we never farmed. We were farming. We were harvesting. We were harvesting many crops. So, you know, this story's never told about us, what we really were doing. You know, and, you know, the finding of trails or discovering of trails, and Daniel Boone discovering this trail through the West and stuff like that. We had established trade routes throughout America. The Cumberland, Route 66 was an established trail already long before we didn't have the names for them that they gave later and stuff like that, but we already had these trails throughout the Americas and stuff. These were our trade routes long before any of the pioneers or whomever discovered these trails. We had trails throughout both Americas and such that we traveled for centuries, long before anyone got here. We had all of these trails. We crossed streams and stuff at different times of the year. We didn't try to cross streams at high water times, of course, but we knew when to cross these streams. We used canoes and stuff to travel up and down the waterways and stuff like that. We used the stream as part of our water routes throughout the Americas and stuff. So we had the ability to navigate the streams and such. They were part of our roadway system throughout the Americas. We traded with each other. We did that for centuries. You know, this is never told our children or in the books or anything like that, but this is, if you study history, if you read deeper into other books and stuff, you can find this information. So, you know, our children need to be able to carry on, to understand, to read about this in their books and stuff, and read deeper and find this out. This has got to be carried on and discover this information. You know, this is part of what we need to know about and such. So this is great information that our young people need to discover, to carry on, to tell our future generations about us as people, that we were farming this land, that we did all of this stuff long before any settlers arrived, that we were doing all of this stuff. This is our history, that this is who we are, that we took care of ourselves, that this is who we are.
2 minutes, Chairman.
And also, in modern times now, I think I want to thank the ladies of our organization. And in modern time, we owe our survival to our ladies. Today, we owe, in our farm time, we owe a debt of gratitude to our ladies, and they help us in our farms, in everyday operations. They help us do our work and stuff and get things done, but also the survival of our race depended on our mothers and our grandmas. They many times were the farmer or farm her. Many times they actually did the cultivation of the land. You look back in history and you study, and they did the actual cultivation. The real farmer many times was the lady. The ladies, they were the ones doing the actual cultivation of the land. It wasn't us guys so much. We were running around chasing, doing the hunting and going off to war sometimes. And a lot of times when we were off to war, we got hurt. So we come home all wounded and beat up and stuff, so we couldn't do any farming. They had to nurse us back to health or put us in the tent or wigwam is what we had, and make sure we got survived and got healed up again so you go do the same thing again. So they had to nurse us back, and it was their garden that made us survive and stuff like that. And same way after the coming of the colonists and settlers and stuff, we went through that period where we survived on mama and grandma's garden and stuff. So through that tough time in our history, we there again survived on mom and grandma's garden and stuff. So they made us survive to the time that got us where we are today. So I think we owe a hand to our ladies. And with that, I'm going to close by thanking our ladies.